what's going on my way to class this morning, and I have a question. And the question was, should I ever change schools? And that's an interesting question, because in my opinion there needs to be loyalty, but I'm sure there's things that could cause you to want to change. So let's just kind of talk through that and see what comes from that. So switching schools, staying at the school, and in my opinion, I think yes, you should stay at your school. The school that you start at, you should stay there as long as possible. I mean, I think you start there, you should finish there, and I think you should have some loyalty to your head coach and to your school. But what are some things that could possibly cause you to want to move on or go somewhere else? I would say if it's unhealthy. If your head coach if it's unhealthy and they are, the way they talk, the way they handle situations, or maybe they're just flat out rude a lot more than you would like. I wouldn't say be a baby and because someone's a little bit rude to you, you leave. Don't do that. But definitely, if there's verbal abuse and maybe even physical, I've heard of some schools being pretty physically abusive in some ways. So I would say if there's some kind of verbal abuse, even mental abuse, then I would probably say it would be safe to go and find a school that does not do that. The temptation, I think, sometimes would be to say, well, I'm not getting promoted here as quickly as I want, so I am going to jump schools. I'm just going to go to another school because I feel like it would be easier, or I'd be recognized more. And I don't know, in my opinion, I think if you change schools, I think it's going to be harder to get promoted, because it's going to take time for that school to get to know you and get to know your personality. Are you there for the long haul? Are you going to leave and jump to another school? And honestly, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that person that's jumping from school to school. Now, there are some situations that you can't help. Work, you're moving to a whole different state. You're going to move schools. You want to train, so you're going to have to find a new school to train at. I would say that if you're wanting to move because you got your feelings hurt, don't move. If there's verbal abuse, mental abuse, even possibly physical abuse in some form, then it might be a good decision to do what's best for you and for your own health. And then if you're wanting to leave because you're not getting promoted, I would say that is a terrible reason to want to leave the school that you started at. Now, here's a good question. Have I ever felt that desire? Have I ever thought of, should I go to a different school? And I can say honestly that I've had those thoughts before. Not recently. This was back in my blue belt stage. I did have thoughts. I was like, man, maybe I'll go to a different school. A new school was opening up with someone that was a part of Reading, but I don't think it would have been right, and my motives and my heart was wrong, and I'm so glad. I am so glad I have stuck it out where I am. I'm glad I persevered. I'm glad I just toughed it out. There was nothing bad happening. There was nothing going on that would justify a leaving. So I stayed. And I'm glad I did, because I think it would have been a very bad decision to move on. I think it would have hurt me more than helped me. So, alright, are there reasons why you should go? Yes, of course. And I think I went over most of those reasons of why you should, and why there's a possibility if you're moving, and if there's abuse of any kind. And then even if maybe it's just an unhealthy school for you. If it's just an unhealthy school for you and you don't like it, then you need to do what's best for you. I do recommend, though, if you have the opportunity to speak with the head coach, if that person is approachable and you're you're like, hey, I really need to just talk to you. I'm struggling with being here. I'm struggling, and this is why. This is what's going on in my head. Then I would have that talk with them. But again, if that talk is about promotion, I don't know if I would do that. I would just keep showing up. And if the coach is purposely holding it back just because they want to see you grow, or if there is some passive aggressiveness, and that those are, passive aggressive would definitely be different. But if it's because they want to see growth in you, then I would just tough it out and get over yourself, and keep showing up and keep working hard and keep pouring into others and not just think only about yourself. It's so easy just to do a self thing and want to just do what I think is best for me. So, all right, hey, I appreciate the question, and I hope that answers that question. I'm sure there are some thoughts from other people, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I wish I could just keep kind of talking about it, because the thing is, I'm just like, don't leave your school unless it's hurting you. Don't leave your school. Be committed to where you are. Be faithful where you are. Build relationships where you are. Be a part of what's happening. Be a part of the growth in your school. Don't jump ship just because you're not getting promoted, or because you've got your feelings hurt one or two times. Don't do that. But if it's literally unhealthy, if it is not good for you, then you need to do what's best for you. And talk to your head coach. Okay, it's so easy to just let bitterness and to let things get in between you and someone else and not say anything and just ignore them, hoping it's going to go away. So if you have the opportunity to talk to them, then talk to them. Don't just avoid it. All right, until next time.